the dramatic use of the voice. Show conversations between two characters by changing the direction you're facing or doing what we call popping into another character. So popping is like changing the physicality, taking a beat and changing the physicality. And you're literally popping into the next character. If you do this clearly, you can leave out words like she said and he said because you're making it obvious who is speaking. I do let them use media to make a location change or a moment change, and they can cut as well. So there's several different ways you can do that. So you can have a conversation with two people by popping into a character. So one person might say in their character voice, "Where are you going?" I'm sorry, ma'am. So you're taking out the he said, she said, and you're just becoming the different character just using a beat and changing your physicality from an older woman to a little girl or something like that. Make sure that you keep anything that you change, like your dialect, your accent, your pitch, make it consistent with each character. So if you have a character that sounds like this, they need to sound like this every single time they speak. Keep it consistent. Change your voice to create a mood. Let the tone of your voice reflect how the character is feeling. So if you're sad, you may, change it to like the mopey sound. So, but mom, I don't want to go to school today. So make sure that your voice reflects how the character is feeling. So if I'm doing the high pitch female voice, but mom, I don't want to go to school today. So you're adding that character voice along with the feeling and the emotional change. So make sure that you're doing both. Add sound effects when necessary. So you could hear the heavy footsteps. So you may want to, have the like act that out, or the ball whooshed in front of his face. Whoosh. So adding those sound effects with vocally or physically really helps create the world of the story for your audience. And then the use of dramatic gesturing. Act out motions that you're describing. If you were saying she pulled the door as hard as she could, act that out. Pantomime that. So she pulled the door as hard as she could. Like act out her pulling the door as you're doing it. Or they jumped into the muddy water and then maybe you jump after and then show that it's muddy by slowly picking up your feet and having a disgusted facial expression. So really connecting the dialogue with voice and movement are key to storytelling. And then changing your posture to show the emotion of the character. And again, these are with storytelling, it's more of a caricature at times than necessarily a character. So again, you're having to give 110 with energy and excitement to really grasp your audience, and especially for small children. So really embracing the moping physicality if your character is sad or angry, really having energy and crossing your arms and that facial expression with the frown. So really connecting to that with your story. So here are some sources for you. I'm not going to play them because I want you to be able to research and see what you like best and what's going to fit best for your kids. But here are some good sources that I typically use to show and demonstrate different storytelling elements. So, National Speech and Debate Association, if you go on YouTube, they have two different categories. One is called humorous interpretation. That is a competition event. If you do literary, you will know what that means and what that looks like. But they do a lot of children's stories. They do a lot of plays, which I have my students do if they want to like reach the older students. But you can, if you look at the championships, you can find different ones that are online through NSDA on YouTube. They also have a storytelling event. In that storytelling event, they are allowed to use a folder. So it's a little bit different in that they do have a prop that is a folder for that. So, but you can show them different storytelling competition pieces to give them an idea of how to cut stories or what makes a good story, because a lot of times they'll do larger stories and cut them down. And then TED Talks with two famous storytellers, David J.P. Phillips and Donald Davis. They have several TED Talks that are on YouTube that are amazing and insightful for your students. So just finding the material that's going to best fit you and your students' needs. So you can also reach out to me and I will be happy to send you other resources or send you example videos of my students. That's actually what my next video is going to be on. Is I'm just going to show you different storytelling pieces from my students and things that they have done and different ways that they use this project and different ways of interpretation and presentation. So thank you guys for tuning in, and I hope you have a great rest of your school year.